Hey, Viking fans, you probably heard it all over the place. Our second and third string quarterback, whoever they may be, we don't know. They're still fighting it out, but they're not doing so well in preseason. It's no secret. So, what are we going to do if, let's say, Bull falter this week, Sunday, against the Raiders? Well, we need to bring in a couple of quarterbacks, if not four, just to make sure we have somebody that can back up Kirk Cousins. So, I have three names for you, and I want to talk about them next in 3, 2, 1. Right, Viking fans, get ready. Let's mount up. Game this weekend. All right, Viking fans, this is brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. You're talking to Skull World. I'm your host, Dave. Now, make sure you hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. If you leave a comment, that means I can reply back to you, and I always do that if I can, if I see it. So, hey, I want to hear from you. Now, that'll also enter you in my contest. I'm really close to giving away $50. I'm at the $439 mark as I record. Let's get to 500 so I can give away $50 of free merchandise on the September left game against the Packers. Now, hey, let's get started. Let's get talking about three receivers that I'm saying, hey, we gotta, they might step in. They might fill a need for us, especially if Kellen Mond and Sean Mannion don't do very well this weekend. I'm a little nervous. I'm not super worried because Kirk Cousins has always been healthy, but knock on wood, he stays healthy. I'm not too worried about having a backup quarterback be that good. I want a guy that has won games, man, and threw some touchdowns. Sean Mannion's only thrown one, and Kellen Mond has thrown 0. So who can we get? Well, I'm looking to guys that entered the league and did something, something positive, and just really didn't have the opportunities. Have just been career backups mainly, except for one guy. One guy you're gonna recognize. Now I'm gonna talk about the first guy is Mike Glennon. Now I had kind of hopes for him. His rookie year. Let's talk about his rookie year. His completion percentage was 59.4. It's a rookie. Why not? 2,600 yards, played 13 games, 19 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. That's a pretty good touchdown-interception ratio for a rookie. And they got replaced by Jameis Winston there in Tampa. So, hey, Mike Glennon came in as a late-round pick. He had an opportunity, and he played fairly well for a rookie. I remember watching him play. He had some good games. And he won some games. So what had happened to him? He had, he went on the next year, 57.6. He ended up with 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Always positive touchdowns, interceptions. You cannot say that about Sean Mannion. He just never had another opportunity. He had 7 TDs, 5 interceptions in 2020. Last year was terrible. I think he was with the Giants, but who's not going to be bad with the Giants? So, Mike Glennon, man, bring him in, take a look. Only if one of these guys, Mond or Mannion, doesn't show out. Well, hey, we need if we release one of these guys, either Mond or Mannion, then we got to bring in a third quarterback, or someone to put on the practice squad or something, or to be our backup and beat out a Mond or Mannion if we keep one of them. I think we keep Mond just because he's young. Mannion, we know what we got, and him being good in the, release him and ask him to be a coach. I don't think anybody's gonna pick him up, man. If he wants to be a coach in the future, this may be his stepping stone right here. I'm sorry to say it, and if you're listening, man, you're a nice guy. I hear you're a good to work with. You're helping out Kirk Cousins. But unfortunately, you just haven't done it when you got into a game, and you haven't looked good in practice. who knows what you're going to look like in this preseason game, but we'll find out. You got one touchdown. One touchdown. It was against the Packers, but in garbage time. So that's Mike Glennon, man. He's 6'7". He's a tall guy. Hey, there's some good attributes there. I just remember him his rookie year standing out that he had potential. So let's talk about the next guy. That's Blake Bortles. You may remember he was like a few minutes away from beating Tom Brady in 2017 to go play the Eagles. Well, and it could have been us, but we got blown out. But they had a really close game, and we're winning. They're beating Tom Brady. And Blake Bortles is the guy doing it. Now, they had a great defense. But Blake Bortles wasn't awful. 59, this is his rookie year. Let me talk about his rookie year. 59 percentage, TDs 11, 17 interceptions. So he threw a lot of picks. He didn't have as good of success rate as Glennon did. But he was really well thought of. Now, he turned it around to where he threw 35 touchdowns for 4,400 yards in year 2, 18 picks. Still a lot of interceptions. Tone that down a bit in 2016, 23 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, 3,900 yards. Now, 2017, they had a great defense. He was a game manager mainly, 21 TDs, 13 interceptions. Then, he lost out of favor, played 13 games, 2,700 yards. The team was horrible. The team gave up after 2017. But he had 13 TDs and 11 interceptions. So he did turn that around. He ended up with a career 103 touchdowns and 75 interceptions. I cannot find a report on what is he doing right now. I know he asked for his release and was given it in April. Because the team signed Andy Dalton, I think is the Rams, if I remember right. And he got released. So he's not that far removed from throwing the ball around. So I have no problem bringing this guy in. I think he's better than what we got. Glennon hasn't played a lot lately, but Bortles, he played a few years and had some success. I mean, it wasn't astronomical success, but he had positives. And he's 6'5", he was athletic, he had good skills in the cone drills, and the 40 time wasn't horrible. And he threw the ball all over the place at UCF. So there's a lot of good things that maybe bring in a Blake Bortles. Why not? That's my slogan. Why not? So, hey, let's go with a third guy here. And I'm going to tell you why I picked these three guys and why I'm not talking about all the other guys people are talking about. But, hey, let me talk about A.J. McCarron. A.J. McCarron, he wasn't drafted too low, if I remember right. But he came in and did some good things. In 2015, he had he played in 7 games. Games started 3. I don't know, it must have been the holder or something. He had a record of 2-1. So the guy won 2 games and lost 1 his rookie year. 79 completions, 119 attempts, 66.4 percentage, 854 yards, 6 TDs, 2 interceptions. So that was pretty decent for coming in as a backup quarterback. What happened? I wish I knew. I might have to look into it. But he's still a free agent. He hasn't taken a snap since 2020. But he never got an opportunity after that. He played in 1 game. Game started 1. Now, he came in some relief, but sparingly. Just sparingly. So his other 2019, he had a game where he started. He went 21 completions, 37 attempts, 56.8%. 0 TDs, 1 interception. But that rookie year showed some promise. Now, he's also fairly good size and fairly good athlete, and he played great for Alabama. He was a leader. 30 years old right now. I'd say, hey, why not look at him? They brought in a guy recently I've never even heard of from Stanford that was terrible in college, and why not bring one of these three guys in? Now, there are others, but I thought these three names stood out in the free agency. Now, people say, why not trade for Gardner Minshew? Do you think the Eagles, we play in week 2, want to trade their backup quarterback, who happens to run a lot, and give us their offensive, basically the mind of their offensive playbook right before we play him in week 2? Yeah. I don't think the Eagles are going to want to play or trade us their backup quarterback and play us in week 2. So forget that. I mean, I wouldn't mind having him. I'm not saying that's not a bad idea. Now, they also have Carson Strong, and he's listed as their 4th guy. And if he doesn't make the team and he's a rookie and they put him on his practice squad, I nab him. He was an unrestricted free agent. I think he should have been drafted. There was some talk of his injury. I would have to go looking to see if he's been healthy in camp. But he can throw the ball. He's not very mobile. He's probably even less mobile than Kirk Cousins is. But he's tall and he can throw the ball everywhere. He can make every throw. Now, that's a guy I might nab off the Eagles other than trading for Gardner Minshew. They got him for a reason, because they got a dual threat quarterback that could get injured, and they need a good backup. That's a fact. Now, there's Tyler Huntley from Tyler Huntley from the Ravens. Trading for him in the last year of his contract, what are we going to do with him? We have Cousins for another year. So Tyler Huntley, although a great idea, it's going to cost too much in trade value for a guy that may not re-sign. And why would he if we already have Cousins for a guaranteed contract for next year? Plus, he's a restricted free agent and an unrestricted free agent. Well, that may give us some leverage on keeping him, but then we gotta pay him more, to do that. We gotta offer him a deal that someone else doesn't match. I believe that's how it goes. You can call me on that. Put it in the comments. Name some other quarterbacks. Go in the comments. Name some other quarterbacks that you may want as a Vikings backup. Because Kirk Cousins is our starter, and he's signed through next year, and he probably if he has the same year as he had last year, he's gonna be offered an extension. So this is for us to get a backup quarterback that doesn't cost very much. All right, that's your assignment. Now, hey, this is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. I want to hear what you got to say, guys. Tell me what quarterbacks that you want to see brought in. If one of the either or, if these guys do bad or if they do good, who would you want to have us take a look at? That's it. That's all I got to say. Minnesota Sports Talk. Skull Vikings. See you later.